The most powerful woman in the ancient Mediterranean ruled an empire of immense wealth, commanded massive fleets, and held off the Roman war machine for decades. Yet after her death in 30 BCE, the earth seemingly swallowed her and her tomb without a trace. Hollywood usually remembers her as a seductress draped in gold, but the reality is more compelling. She was a highly educated geopolitical strategist and a naval commander who negotiated with foreign powers in 9 different languages. She belonged to the Ptolemies, the final reigning line of a 300-year-old Greek-Macedonian dynasty installed after the conquests of Alexander the Great. Finding her resting place means recovering an elite, capable ruler from 2,000 years of sensationalized mythology. We are on a rescue mission for the facts. Her conqueror, the future Emperor Augustus, controlled the narrative after her defeat. Roman historians wrote the surviving accounts, actively minimizing her intellect and reducing her political legacy to Roman propaganda. To see what she actually looked like, we have to look at the currency she minted herself. The profile stamped onto this silver coin shows harsh, realistic features, a sharp nose and a strong chin. It's the face of a hardened administrator. Without her physical remains, we are stuck relying on the words of the men who destroyed her. Locating her intact tomb gives us the ultimate untampered artifact of the Ptolemaic era. The search starts with the few surviving texts from ancient historians like Plutarch and Suetonius. They confirm she was buried alongside the Roman general Mark Antony. According to Plutarch, her mausoleum was heavily fortified. She fled into it during the final Roman assault, securing the structure with massive drop doors, heavy bolts, and iron bars. Suetonius notes a specific spatial relationship. When Augustus arrived in Alexandria, he visited the tomb of Alexander the Great and explicitly declined an offer to see the nearby royal Ptolemaic tombs. These documents describe a massive, heavily fortified royal complex built directly into the capital's royal quarter. For a structure of that scale to vanish completely is a major geographical anomaly. That anomaly has led archaeologists to look 48 kilometers west of Alexandria, deep into the desert, at a sprawling temple complex known as Taposiris Magna. Dr. Kathleen Martinez has spearheaded archaeological excavations here for nearly 2 decades. Her logic relies on religious symbolism. Cleopatra identified as the living embodiment of the goddess Isis, and Antony as Osiris. This temple is dedicated to exactly that divine pairing. In 2022, excavations at the site uncovered a 1,305-meter tunnel carved directly through solid sandstone, 13 meters below ground. This tunnel network could lead to a series of concealed, deep shaft burial chambers. Many of these lower levels are now completely flooded by the nearby Mediterranean. There is a severe logistical problem here. The ancient texts explicitly state that a dying, heavily bleeding Mark Antony was physically carried by servants to Cleopatra's tomb. While Taposiris Magna fits their religious personas, carrying a dying man 48 kilometers through the desert on foot is highly improbable. Validating this desert site requires rejecting the established timeline of her final hours. This brings us back to the traditional theory. She was buried exactly where the texts imply, right in the royal quarter of ancient Alexandria. The problem is what happened next. Between the 4th and 8th centuries, a series of massive earthquakes and tsunamis fractured the coastline. Entire districts of the ancient capital slid directly into the sea. Archaeologists mapping the submerged royal quarters routinely hoist colossal artifacts from the ocean floor. This marine environment is highly destructive. Caught in earthquakes, her heavy stone mausoleum would have collapsed, scattering her remains beneath thick layers of marine sediment. If the classical historians were telling the truth, the greatest tomb in antiquity suffered one of 2 fates. It is either crushed beneath the seafloor, or it is permanently sealed beneath the concrete skyline of modern Alexandria. The search currently rests at a tense standoff between the submerged ruins of a drowned capital and a secretive temple in the desert. Investigators are up against 3 massive hurdles. They have to outmaneuver the destructive power of the Mediterranean, navigate dense urban sprawl, and account for 2 millennia of systematic tomb looting. Yet the fact that archaeologists and historians are still hunting for her isn't a sign of failure. It shows the enduring, magnetic pull of her historical ghost. She remains the ultimate unsolved mystery of the ancient world. If that 2,054-year-old seal is finally broken, what intact artifacts do you think are actually waiting inside? Let us know your theories down in the comments.